that we were reincarnated based on prior teachings that I've experienced under wicked men. Okay? You had men who wanted to pose as ancient prophets of the past. So because they wanted to pose as certain people, they brought in new revelation that reincarnation is existent so they can give themselves authority. Alright? So I've been on both sides of the ball. So we can blatantly speak in boldness to let you know that if you needed somebody to teach you whether or not reincarnation was correct, you'd have came to us 10 years ago. We would have convinced you that reincarnation was correct. So we can teach it if you want us to. That's how we are in authority to tell you that it's absolutely incorrect teaching. And that comes from someone who believed it. And I thank the Most High that He showed me it was wrong. Get Hebrews 9 and 27. Let's read that. Then we're going to show you what happens when you leave.
Number 27?
Yes. What does it say?
And as it is appointed unto men once to die.
As it is appointed unto men once to die. Go ahead.
But after this, judgment.
After this, the judgment. And the Lord is not the author of confusion. If you done came back 30 separate times, which soul is He going to judge on the day of judgment? Right? Read it again. (9 and 27). Read that.
And it is appointed. It is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment.
After that, the judgment. Go ahead.
So Christ once offered to bear the sins of many.
So Christ came here one time to bear the sins of many. That's it. Read on.
And unto them look for Him shall He appear the second time without sin unto salvation.
Okay, now I don't have to go through all the scriptures, but in the past I've seen men use the fact that the scripture says Elijah would come in the day of judgment. So you had people or brothers like Pharisees and scribes waiting for the spirit of Elijah. Mm-hmm. By the same token, because they were not spiritual, they didn't understand it wasn't talking about the Elijah. Right. It was talking about the position Elijah had when he was in the earth. Mm-hmm. The same way the scriptures tell you that David is going to come in a dreadful day. David is going to come and be our king. King David is not going to be our king. It was talking about the lineage or throne Christ would sit on. So it gives you names as positions in the Old Testament. And men fulfill those positions. That's why when Christ told him, you're looking for Elijah, Elijah already came. That was John. Mm-hmm. Because he came in the same spirit of the ancient Elijah. To prove that, when Christ was sitting there with the transfiguration, right, after John was already crucified, after he was already beheaded, you didn't see John next to Moses with Christ. You seen Elijah, Christ, and Moses.
Right.
So if John just got beheaded and that was the last life, why wasn't Christ standing next to John? So that lets you know it's talking about position. When it talks in the Old Testament that this prophet must come. It's talking about the position the prophet was in. He would do the same thing. That's why it says in the scriptures, John came in the spirit of Elijah. Right. He wasn't Elijah. Alright? So it's appointed unto men once to die, after that the judgment. We're going to show you that when you die, it's profound quiet. We are not allowed to speak. The only speaking we can do is now, based on what our judgment will be. This is our voice right now. It's going to show you when we stand before the Lord. The angel that was your so-called guardian, or that goes to the Father every sundown to report. He will be the angel speaking, accusing you against the Father if you've been wrong. We're going to show you. Let's get into the Apocrypha first. Who has an Apocrypha? Okay, let's go. Since you have a Bible, I want you to go into the Bible. Get Luke 16. You get that. You got a Bible, right? Yeah. You don't want you raise the question of hell.
I give it away to a homeless man today.
Huh?
I give it away.
Somebody get that brother a Bible, man. That was a good gesture, man. Lord gonna look out for you.
Where we go?
We're going to Luke 16 since you have a Bible. Hope y'all have some time, man. Because I don't know when we're going to see y'all again after this. So our time is your time right now. Luke 16. We're going to run them all down.
16 and what?
We're going to start at 19. This is Christ. What's your name, brother?
Chris.
Chris? Okay, Chris.
There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate, full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass that the beggar died, and he was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments.
And where?
In hell.
He lifted up his eyes, being in what?
Torments.
In torments. In torments. Right? So we know that Abraham showed righteousness in his life, so he was taken to where? The bosom of Abraham. That's a place, and we're going to show you that's a place. It's all in the center of the earth, both places. It's in the center of the earth where souls are held. Right? Read. And those that don't believe that this is a place, there's a place. I'm going to give you an example, sister. Sister, I'm going to give you an example. I want you to pay attention. Give an example. And we gave this example at a class the other night. When you sleep, you're just sitting there, right? You're just laying there. Nothing is going on, right? You sure? Yeah, something is going on here, right? You're all over the place. You're walking down the street, you're running, you're flying.
Exactly.
That's right.
Somebody's trying to get you.
Mine
right?
kept going.
But that's the example. You are actually indulging in that life. You're just not there permanently. When somebody wake you up, when you get up, you come back. That's why it says to be dead as one that is asleep. The difference is when you're asleep permanently, you don't wake up. You're just in that state based on your judgment until the last judgment. So instead of you running and getting away or getting woken up, you get to see the end of that. You get the full dream.
Right.
Forever. Okay? What verse you at?
23.
Read that.
And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom.
Go ahead.
And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime proceedest thy good things.
Remember when you was living all good and presumptuously all living fat? Read.
And likewise Lazarus evil things.
And remember Lazarus came to you because he was hurting and needed some medication and needed help, and you dissed him. Remember that? Read.
But now